Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So today I want to pick up on the Aqeedah class that the people had a lessons with and kind of touch on some answers. And a beautiful situation to me. So a brother ended up reaching out to me on Telegram. I had spoke on it, and he asked me, you got any quizzes, anything, So I sent him the whole Aqeedah lesson, and he was like, he asked me when I do the questions, do I just take a picture and send it to you? So I'm like, yeah, alhamdulillah. The brother sent me his answers. This is just a matter of days. And I want to, you know what I'm saying? Like this, for me, it make me proud of Muslims like that. Because some things about tests and quizzes, they're tests and quizzes in more than one way. It's going to, your initiative is going to be tested. Okay? The type of work that you're going to put in is going to be tested. How serious you are is going to be tested. The brother got right back with me immediately, within a couple of days. And like I said, it made me proud because, trust me, I'm talking about multiple people that I've met, sat in the same room with them and discussed this stuff with them. A year ago, 10 months ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and to this day, still ain't turned in an answer. And then, like, sometimes when I see them, yeah, man, I'm still, I'm gonna get them answers to you, this and that. I already got everything written down, this and that. Still never seen it to this day. Just like with the new Shahada brothers. They already, when Monday come, they're going to be on lesson 7. It's individuals that I'm still waiting for lesson 1. This brother got back to me in a matter of days. And I love the way he answered his questions. I even asked his permission to share a couple of his answers, because you could start to see the way people answer the questions. It's going to show how they understand what they're reading, right? It's going to show if they understand what they're reading, and then it's going to show if they really don't understand. It'll also show if they just made up stuff. And like I said, it's a couple of people who I finally just got them, because it's taken so long, and I finally just got them to show me one or two of their answers, and I looked at their answers, and I'm going to keep it 100. They just made up some stuff. Okay? Instead of from ilm. And this shows that they really, either they not understanding the lessons, because one thing about the way this is designed, technically you don't have a teacher with you. Okay? So you going over it by yourself. But somebody who went through it, somebody who passed it, they can point out certain things that you might not catch. So like, I want to go over some of the answers in the beginning. of the multiple choice just to show certain things. And then, like I said, I'm going to also touch a couple of his answers, and then I'm going to expound on it, because if we was in a classroom and like he was in front of me, I always have a little bit of pushback to get you to expound on your answers just a little bit more, but in a different direction. Because like, if anybody pay real close attention to me, I'm more about implementation. I'm not trying to give people a wealth of stuff to talk about. Because like, as you listening to me, even when I'm speaking about marriage, even when I'm speaking about different situations involving people, some of these people in conversation, they know how to use the right words. And if you don't know, you may look at them and be like, yeah, they top notch, they this, they that. You understand? But then, because you don't know the difference. But as you can see, when it comes to implementation, when it comes from taking it off of paper, they failing. But they may know how to answer questions. And the way this brother answered them questions, I can see the brother, you can see he want to be studious. It's there. It's in him. You can see he has the potential to be one of them guys, man. He had a potential to be one of them guys. He might be that already. But like I said, the way he answered the questions, you could see he already have a little bit of knowledge about the subject matter, because he can answer the questions based off of some of what he already understands already. And that's always a plus. Like a lot of stuff, when I started dealing with certain classes, the simple fact that I was already familiar with the subject matter, I was able to do just a little bit better than others that wasn't. Like, even with just looking at the way somebody answers questions, I was able to say in my head, I don't know this for a fact. See, this brother's Salafi, but he's Salafi the right way. You know what I'm saying? He got a grasp, he got a firm hold on what Salafia is the right way. Because I could tell just by the way he answered his questions. You know what I'm saying? So, and like I said, man, I be proud of Muslims who do that. It be people, man, we done sat in a class, like even met on Zoom. It might be about me, 3-4 other people, and then we go through the whole thing, and I could tell by the way they answer the questions, like they may have had the material maybe 2 weeks, may have had it a week, and then boom, we jump down, and I'm corresponding with them. Y'all fooling with them lessons, this, that. We gonna get together, we gonna do this. Yeah, we fooling with them. We doing this, we going over them. And then when we get to the lessons, I go straight to the questions and ask a question. Everybody be like this. And I be like, yeah, read this, right? Oh, we just kind of flipped through it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I read a little bit of it. I was reading through it about an hour before the class was getting ready to start. You know, earlier this morning I was reading it. You know what I'm saying? And then you could tell by some of the answers that they do have. It's some guesswork, or they just went in a lesson and try to skim through where they felt like the answers was. But see, the thing is, you have to answer some of these questions from your own head. Critical thinking questions. So you can always tell, and I could tell that brother gonna be one of them guys. I want to share some of his answers, and then I want to expound on it. But let me go through some of the lessons, some of the questions, so where I can give some understanding. Like, well, one, like some of these people, And this be the most unfortunate thing. Several people that I gave this lesson to, and they really didn't read the work, or they feel like they answered the questions, but they never had their questions checked. But I talk to them. I be around them. We may talk on the phone. And I might just, in the conversations, I may bring up stuff from the lessons. And they don't know what I be talking about. So I know from that, if they did read it, they didn't absorb it. But the sad part is, they actually be trying to teach people from it. They have it in their hand and try to like read it to you and say this and that, but it be their own opinion. And this is why I want to go through some of the multiple choice questions, just to show that the ones who do this, you really didn't pay attention to the lessons. Because look at this. Question number 1. The following is fundamental and essential for the health and strength of the heart of a Muslim. The following is fundamental and essential. So this is one of the fundamentals of Islam, because it's fundamental and it's essential for the health and strength of the heart of a Muslim. Why does a Muslim, what's health and strength of the heart of a Muslim? See, like what I'm finna give y'all is how, when you have more knowledge of the subject, how you can expound on it. Because the Quran speaks about the Muslim that has a disease in their heart, that has sickness in their heart. And then it also says the Muslims that has a disease and has sickness in their heart, even reading the Quran, they're going to get worse, because it says Allah increases that disease, increases that sickness. You understand? Because Allah know what's to him. So Allah increases that disease and that sickness. So when you're reading this, it's fundamental and essential for the health and strength of the heart of a Muslim, to where you have a heart that doesn't have sickness and disease in it. So what is this fundamental and what's essential? So one, they put A, push-ups or sit-ups. Of course, the average individual is going to say, nah, that don't really, of course that ain't the answer. But at the same time, it's letting you know you should be doing some exercise. Because part of being a Muslim, male and female, you're supposed to be ready to do battle at all times. If you sitting around sickly, if you sitting around unhealthy, what type of example is you setting for the Muslim Ummah? You understand? You supposed to be ready to go. You got sick people in the Ummah. You got sick people in the world, even in the Ummah. Is you prepared? And may Allah protect us all from this, for some goofy to run up in the masjid. If a goofy run up in the masjid, can you put hands and feet on him, or are you gonna be too tired? Huh? If you had to get up and run up out of the masjid and grab a couple of people with you, will you make it? Or are you too out of shape? You understand? So it's putting that answer is in there. Of course, it's not the answer for fundamentals and essential for the health and strength of the heart of a Muslim as far as diseases in it, but you need to have a strong heart. So then it comes to B, eating wholesome food, eating right, eating clean. Another from the Quran ayat. Eat from the good things that Allah has provided for us. So it's putting those little jewels in there to get you to understand you do need to have some exercise in your life. See, one thing especially in the urban community, what's starting to happen is people may have a little weight on them. So they'll exercise for the purposes of losing weight. But then, especially with some women, oh, my weight is right here. So now I'm curvy. I don't want to lose no more weight. But what about exercising to get healthy? So they'll get a little curvy to what they feel, but they still sickly and out of shape. But they feel like they had a shape that they want. So they still won't eat right. Eat whatever they want, just be sickly. If they gain weight, I'll do a little exercise just to lose weight. This male and female though. Right? So then coming into C, learning and understanding the proper Aqeedah. But that's what we're going to get into. What exactly is learning? How do you learn it? How do you understand the proper Aqeedah, which they put in parentheses, Islamic creed? How do you go about learning that? How do you understand it properly? Which, of course, that's the correct answer, because learning and understanding the proper Aqeedah is fundamental and essential for the health and the strength of the heart of a Muslim. For those who understand that Allah informs us that you can have a sick and diseased heart, but you might be a healthy person. But Islamically, you're only going to get worse. Whether you're reading Quran, whether you're reading Hadiths, whether you're reading this book. Because Allah tells us in the Quran. And it ain't just one ayat about it. You understand? And a lot of times, and I'm going to keep it 100, when I look at these type of individuals, their Aqeedah don't be correct. So from my mind, you got some sickness in your heart because your Aqeedah is not right. Not my opinion, because of what Allah Azza wa Jal says, and I understand the importance of Aqeedah. Right? So then D, this is one thing how I know these individuals, the way they be trying to answer this stuff, and then some of them actually had a nerve to call themselves trying to teach people. Answer number D, it says learning and understanding the creed, Aqeedah, based upon people's personal opinions. And they answers be their personal opinion. You couldn't have really understood. You couldn't have really did what you were supposed to do. Because I'm looking at some of your answers, and guess what it is? Your personal opinion. I see when we be in a community and people come up and start talking to you. Some new shahadas ask you a question, guess what you give them? Your personal opinion. But they running around talking about they trying to teach Aqeedah to people. You didn't see, you know that that's the wrong answer. Well, obviously that's the wrong answer, learning and understanding the creed based upon people's personal opinion. But every time you run your mouth, it's your personal opinion. This is a problem. This is a problem. What do that mean? If this says the following is fundamental and essential for the health and the strength of the heart of a Muslim, when you doing that, guess what you got? Your heart is sick. Your heart is sick. See, this is where you need to get. This is the importance of these things and being able to abstract these type of things from these lessons. It ain't about just being able to have the right answer. And even like with this brother, the beauty of the thing with the brother is he got all of the answers right. Now, although this is a basic Aqeedah class, and there's nothing wrong with being wrong, but it's people on this same part that he got, wallahi, I done had to send him back. No knock, no diss, but that's not correct. Did you really read the lessons? Did you really read it? Like I said, it's a couple of people. And this is not one particular person. It's not one particular person. I done seen people calling themselves trying to teach it to their wives. Where are they now? And even me behind closed doors trying to tell them, like, come on, man. But it was enough for them to fool other people that don't know nothing. Where's your amana? Where's your trust? Just like man, I'm teaching this, man. I was holding a class on this and that. Oh yeah, alhamdulillah, teach it to me. Oh, I see, there you go. No, you teach it. Teach it to me, brother. Because it's a strong possibility you might be talking off the understanding of your own personal opinion. Which means you don't understand this at all. Got to be careful, man. It got to be careful. So when it comes to number 2, where it says, what is a piece of flesh in the body that if it is healthy, the whole body is healthy. But if it is corrupt, the whole body is corrupt. And I love how they did this. This shows the scholarship of the person who put it together is a scholar, though. I could see his scholarship in these lessons. But, after I did it, I sat with him through this. You understand? So look what he put. A, the tongue. B, the brain. C, the eyes. D, the heart. What is a piece of flesh in the body that is healthy? The whole body is healthy. But if it is corrupt, the whole body is corrupt. So we know that's going to be D, the heart. If the heart is healthy, going right back to the subject matter. Also showing how the beginning of this lesson, they even have a little diaphragm, a little thing of a heart. And it speaks about the heart and how it affects the actions of the limbs. So it's back to the heart again. If the heart ain't healthy, if the heart is corrupt, the whole body is corrupt. But what's the fundamental and essential for having a healthy and strong Muslim heart? You got to have the proper understanding of Aqeedah. So if you always talking about from your personal opinion on Aqeedah and things where you can't have a personal opinion, every time you answering a question, every time you call yourself teaching somebody, your heart corrupt. So even with these things that is listed, the tongue, the brain, the eyes, and the heart, and it says the whole body is corrupt. So when your heart corrupt, your tongue gonna be corrupt. You might speak about what you have no knowledge of. You might speak from your own personal opinion. So your tongue gonna be corrupt. Your brain gonna be corrupt because you're not gonna have enough sense to not be that way. We're showing the truthfulness in Allah's speech and saying those who had that disease in their heart, Allah's gonna increase that disease. They gonna get worse. And then it says, it also, where Allah describes and let us know, they're gonna choose error. This is one of the signs, so you know them when you see them. They're going to choose error over guidance. They're going to choose what misguides you from Allah Azza wa Jal, what deviates you as opposed to what gets you closer to Allah Azza wa Jal. Because they heart sick. So now their speech is sick and corrupt. Their brain is corrupt. They choose an error over guidance, man. And then it comes with the eyes. They can't even see it. Foolishness can be going on right in their face. And they can't even recognize it because their vision, their firasa, their farsightedness is corrupted. You can't even see the damage that you're doing to yourself or to your family or to this Muslim community. Because your heart is corrupt, your heart is sick and full of disease. So people know how to answer the heart, but they got to be able to reflect on it and see. If the heart is corrupt, everything else is going to be corrupt also. The tongue, the brain, and your eyes. You might not even be able to lower your gaze. This stuff could lead a person to being dumb, deaf, and blind. We're going to know you dumb because of your tongue. You know what I'm saying? Your tongue is a reflection of what's in your heart and the way your brain operates. We're going to know that you're blind because you ain't even going to be able to see and have firasa or understand what you're involving yourself in or what you're doing. And we're going to know you got some issues in your heart. Your heart's sick. Your heart's sick. But these little jewels is put right in these lessons when you know how to pull it up out of it. Number 3, what should the Muslim heart be filled with? And this is something that when I was doing the class with the sisters, I spoke on a little bit of this with them. So where it says, what should a Muslim heart be filled with? We know how to answer the questions, but let's reflect on it. Answer number 1, the answer A is music. B, cholesterol. C, the statement of La ilaha illallah. Right? D, the statement Jesus is the Son of God. Now I love how they put the statement Jesus is the Son of God. We know that's wrong. We know that the Muslim heart shouldn't be filled with Jesus is the Son of God. Right? We know, let's reverse it. We know that the Muslim heart should be filled with the statement La ilaha illallah. We know that's the correct answer. That's easy. But in reality, how many Muslims' heart is filled with music? How many Muslims' heart is filled with music? See, we don't know to look at it that way. How many Muslims' heart and veins and arteries is filled with cholesterol? This is tied to the very first answer. Exercising and eating wholesome. Do you know how many Muslims have all type of blood issues? Cholesterol, blood pressure, sugar. Because of what they put in their body. And won't change it. So we know how to say, oh, C is the answer. That's obvious. The statement of La ilaha illallah. But you're full of music and cholesterol and sugar. Blood pressure. Blood pressure too high. All type of different blood issues. What you doing filled with that? Right? The statement Jesus is the Son of God. Oh no, we don't do that. We don't do no shirk. But you feel like the essence of birthdays and some of these paganish holidays is a part of Christianity, which is being a follower of Christ. Because Jesus Christ, a Christian, is a follower of the Christ. Oh no, I don't say Jesus is the Son of God, but I could still do birthdays which come from Christianity. You might not say Jesus is the Son of God or Jesus is God in your tongue, but you still follow that Christianity though, and refuse to put it down no matter how much it angers Allah. But people feel like they done took these lessons. They done studied these lessons. You see what I'm saying? The little jewels and different things is in there. Just think about that. How many Muslims' heart is filled with music, cholesterol, sugar, salt, different blood, all type of different blood issues? All of this is stemming from the corruption of the heart. You understand? Let me move forward. Let me move forward. I just want to show a few of those, just touch on a few of those. You understand? I just wanted to touch on a few of those to let people know there's more to this than meet the eye. And like I say, I know people who feel like they toy with this and they feel like they teach it. Like I said, I done seen people try to teach it to their families. I done sat in the same room with them and listened to some of their answers and just be like this. You just making up stuff, man. Y'all just sitting here making up stuff. When the answer is, one of the things that's not essential to the heart and the strength of a healthy and the strength of the Muslim heart is learning and understanding based upon people's personal opinion, but everything you talking about is your personal opinion. You understand? When your heart is corrupt, you're going to corrupt the people around you. No ifs, ands, buts, or maybes. If they're going to sit up and listen to you. This is dangerous, man. But some people feel like because they have this, just because they have it, or they have books, that don't mean nothing, man. And shout out to the brother for even turning in his answers, because that's humility, man. That's humility. To face scrutiny of a person saying, you know what? Alhamdulillah, man, you did pretty good, but this ain't right. Some people can't handle that. But the ones who can, those is the ones who actually become the members. Like I said, being wrong is never the problem. Staying wrong is the problem. Staying wrong is the problem. And when you choosing to stay wrong because you can fool other people that don't know better, now you are part of the problem. And when you understand Quran al-Kareem, where Allah says the people who have this type of sickness, this type of disease in their heart, Allah is going to increase it. Allah is going to increase it. Dangerous. But let me pull up one of the brother's answers. Right? I ain't gonna go through all of them, but all of them excellent answers. And like I said, I asked this permission, right? Because that's why I say, like, when people hear me talking about stuff, this and that, I always give people permission to talk about it. And if it's something where we won't discuss it that way, or I might say certain things where nobody have a clue, but me and maybe that one particular person. But I'm involved in the situation, so I'm speaking on it from my involvement. I'm speaking about my interaction in the situation. So like this answer right here. So like I said, this brother, like I said, I don't know if he's Salafi. He might not choose to call himself Salafi, but he got a pretty good grasp of what Salafia is. The right way. The right way. Just, like I said, I ain't 100% accurate, but looking at the way he answered these questions, man. This answer right here, and like I said, I see people answers and they try to cheat their way through it. You only gonna cheat yourself. Let's see this right here. Like even this one, just because I pulled it up, this ain't the main one that I want to answer, right? So like, beautiful answer, man. Number 4, right? Having incorrect Aqeedah and believing in the wrong things can lead to misguidance and destruction. And then it says, explain. The brother said, having incorrect Aqeedah can lead to misguidance and destruction because if it isn't based off of the 2 main sources of Islam, i.e. Quran and Sunnah. So if it isn't based off those 2 sources, it's coming from someone's ideas, thoughts, and desires. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said bid'ah is in the hellfire. Beautiful answer. But not only while he answering that, he probably don't even realize that he did it. Look how it ties into the very first question about people learning and understanding Aqeedah from people's personal opinions. So although he didn't put the word personal opinion, I like how he expounded on it more. If it ain't based off Quran and Sunnah, if it ain't based off them 2 sources, it's coming from someone else's ideas, thoughts, and desires. And you can add in their personal opinions. When it comes to Aqeedah and certain aspects, you can't have your own ideas. You can't have your own thoughts, your own perspective. You can't have your own opinion. And some people can't grasp that when they always trying to answer questions and drive down on people. Because you see what I'm saying? They really more of a problem and not a solution. That's a different thing when you hitting them with real Quran and Sunnah, not what you think it means, with the correct understanding, and they just don't want to accept it because their heart is sick and they want to continue being whatever it is that they is. That's a different story. And like I said, I know several individuals with this. Every last one of them claim that they teach this. But I talk to them, I interact with them, and 90% of the time, I feel like they need to be quiet. And I tell them, sometimes bluntly, because some of them, we've been going through this for years. Some of them not really, they really don't even know it. Just like, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? You need to do more learning and teaching, brother. Look, go through it for real. Let's go through it together. But they don't want to do it. But it don't stop them from running their mouth, man. And see, that's the thing about that amana that we've been discussing. Like dude said, man, it was a time that your religion and your deen would stop a Muslim from being that way. But today, it don't stop them. It don't stop them. As a matter of fact, they actually get worse at it. And when they get worse at it, you know what? They got that disease in their heart that Allah Azza wa Jal be talking about. Beautiful answer. And see, like some people, it ain't no knock to them. Some people just be new. Some people just be new to Islam and they don't really read. They don't absorb the lesson. So like I be seeing people answer stuff like this. Having incorrect Aqeedah and believing in the wrong things can lead to misguidance and destruction. Explain. And they'll have stuff like Aqeedah is the correct creed. You know, they have a little answer like that. Well, having Aqeedah is the correct creed, which is true. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't got a grasp. You don't have that firm hold. That's not really explaining the answer like this brother did. You understand? That's not really explaining, but it's an answer. Then some people that sit down and say something just all the way out of bounds. See, when you have Aqeedah, you from the best of everything, so you know what's what, and misguidance will never reach you. Just trying to sound overly, you ain't read this. You ain't read this. And then they might get around some little people who don't know nothing and get to spewing that jargon. Beautiful answer, because he understood the assignment. It said explain. Having incorrect Aqeedah and believing in the wrong things can lead to misguidance and destruction. Explain. And that brother did exactly that. And he kept it simple. That's how this goes. The brother have a pretty good understanding, man. Another answer that he had. All of them. I liked all of them. You know what I'm saying? Another beautiful answer. Let me read this one right here while I'm looking for it. Beautiful answer, man. Beautiful answer. Where it says, why is it important for someone who accepts Islam to enter into Islam completely and not pick and choose as to what they practice and what they don't practice from religion? Now see, one reason why it's important, because it's a commandment from Allah Azza wa Jal in Quran al-Kareem. Enter into Islam wholeheartedly, completely, fully. Enter into it all the way. And then it's the kamu. Be upright. Be steadfast on this deen. See, if you a Muslim and you got one foot in and one foot out, you ain't entered into Islam completely. You ain't entered into Islam wholeheartedly. This is dangerous. I'm going to become Muslim, but I don't want to relearn. I don't want to really learn my religion, but I want to keep running my mouth. I want to enter into Islam, but I don't want to cover. I want to still wear weave. I still want to put all type of makeups and perfumes on. I still want to show my body, but I love Allah. Allah said enter into Islam wholeheartedly, completely. He ain't entered into Islam completely. And to keep it 100, like what he says in his answer, which I'm going to read. You ain't even entered into Islam. You just took your shahada, some of you. Okay? Look what the brother said here, man. Entering into Islam completely is important Because we don't know if we are entering paradise because we took Shahada. Because to keep it 100, that's all some people really did. It just took Shahada. That's all some people really did. They might pray. They might pray occasionally. But the problem is, sometimes it's why are you praying? See, I can't miss a lot. Things I heard people say out of their mouth. Man, I can't miss a lot because I want to start a business. If I miss a lot, Allah not going to give me the business. Your heart's sick. I ain't got a job right now. I want this job. I can't miss no salat or Allah ain't gonna give me that job. And see, when people, this is the beauty of sincerity and intentions. And where they gotta understand the test from Allah. I ain't got a husband, I ain't got a wife. I gotta get on these salats so Allah give it to me. When Allah bless them with what they looking for, guess what happened? They ain't praying 5 times now. They delaying prayers. Oh man, I can't pray. My business keeping me too busy. I got appointments during salat time. Oh man, they working me to death. I'm doing 60 hours this week. I can't pray. I'm at work working to death. Oh, I done got this good husband now finally, but he at work and I get to stay at home, staying at home, not praying. Because you already got what you was looking for. That's why you was on your prayers. Some people ain't did nothing but took their shahada. But look what else he says though. So entering completely is crucial. It's like a safety net for our shortcomings. We shouldn't pick and choose because Allah said he completed the deen for us. See that brother, man? Man, that brother answering them questions, man. Look, also, people who pick and choose what they want to practice is always a way for them to cater to a desire that they still hold on to. Allahu Akbar. That's what I'm talking about right there. I'm one of them guys, man. Inshallah ta'ala. May Allah bless this brother, reward this brother, increase him in ilm, and make it easy for him to stay on Sirat al-Mustaqim until he reaches Jannah. This is what I'm talking about. Like I said, some people be answering, why is it important from someone who accepts Islam to enter into Islam completely and not pick and choose as to what they practice or what they don't practice, and they just have something like entering into Islam completely make you Muslim. I mean, yeah, entering into Islam completely, it do make you Muslim. But see, you can see they not really getting a grasp, a firm hold. You ain't really read this. You ain't really studying Aqeedah outside of this. And it shows. Let me get one more. This is the one that I really wanted to speak on. I like this brother, man. I like this brother, man. Real talk, man. And this ain't no gas, man. I give credit where it's due. I don't do all that. Oh, you ain't want a brother on it. You ain't supposed to say something. They might get big headed and all that. No, you just don't like to give people their props. You know what I'm saying? I thugged it out, man. You know what I'm saying? I can see how he grasping. I can see his studies. I can see his studies, man. One of them guys, man. Look what he said. Look at this one. And this is a part. This is something that I want to touch on because I want to help the Muslims, man. I'm gonna give y'all a couple of jewels. I gave it to these sisters in the sister class, right? So, hold on. Let me pull up the question. Whew. I love this brother, man. I don't even know him. You know what I'm saying? He reached out to me on Telegram. Hey, man, you got some quizzes? You got something, man? Hey, you know, whatever it is, you send it to me, man. I'm going to do it. Cool. Give me a moment. I'm finna hit you with something right now. This was just a couple of days ago. And I'm talking about, he wrote this out with an ink pen. Okay? My man bust out a notebook and he wrote this stuff out, man. He ain't typing. He ain't texting through a phone. And I like that he keeping it in his notebook because he can always go back to it. One thing that I do, anybody who's serious, and I do this, and I teach them this, and we go through it, I always do it with them when they're serious. So, as the more and more I did and the more I learned, my answers got stronger. So I keep them, and then I can always go look back at what I said the very first time I did it. So I like that he got it in his notebook because at least this portion right now, this brother understand this enough to go and start doing this with other people. You know what I'm saying? He can get him a couple of little Muslim brothers together, even Muslim sisters, his children, and he can bust this down for them. That's how thoroughly he answered these questions. He thorough enough to give these jewels to other people. Now, like I say, there's more that can be abstracted, just like I can pull more from it. There's certain little things that's hidden in it that I know that's in there because the way he put it together, I was able to recognize the books and the things that he used, but he is a scholar. He's a small scholar. He has a PhD in hadiths, right? He graduated from the University of Medina with a PhD. He's a doctor in hadith. But he also thorough in fiqh, Aqeedah. But that was his major. He's a PhD. He's a doctor of hadiths, the Sunnah. And we know the Sunnah covers Aqeedah thoroughly. The way of the Salaf, the correct understanding, Ijma. He got all that. He's a doctor, a PhD. This is a small scholar. Scholars give him that. Cold individual. I love him. Right? So, for number 4, and I love the way, and like I said, I'm looking at his scholarship, even the way that he breaking this down, simple enough that if you took your Shahada on Monday, you could start doing this Aqeedah course. So the way that he worded it and put the questions and made it so simple, although yeah, it could be difficult. And like when I told y'all about the classes where the brother was like, oh man, what you doing is too over their head. No, it's over your head because your heart's sick. It wasn't nothing but this. But I was giving them the jewels before I put this paper in front of them. That way, when these papers got put in front of them, which the very last class that we all had together with them was them getting this first pamphlet. So now that they prepared and they have more jewels when they go through it, but them cats was hating. Oh man, that's too much, man. No, you just don't want them. You just mad because now they starting to know more than you. You want to be their leader because your heart's sick. You want to make money off of them. You want to parade them around and get donations for them. You know, doing little stuff, man, sometimes with these programs, man, where the abuse can step in. See, they'll do stuff like this. And I know this stuff, man, because I dealt with this. I had businesses. I went to school for all of this. Wallahi, when I went through school in small business management, it taught all about these, how to get the grants, these non-fundable, these non-profit organizations, how to run them, how to get the licenses. So they'll do stuff like this. You can go to the city and bid on contracts for like where places and different things need the yard cut, need the grass cut and lined up. You can go to the city and get a contract, or you can go to people and get a contract. They might contract you down for like $60,000, $70,000 a year. Now you got these bad kids in this program who have to be in a part of this program because it's part of their probation. If they don't do this and that, their probation can be violated. They got to do so many hours there and all that type of stuff. Then you can get them. You getting $70,000 a year, $80,000 a year for these yards, and then you'll take them up and get them a few dollars to where their money that y'all gonna pay them to do the work for the contracts that y'all have, right? But y'all gonna budget their money out, and y'all might spend $50,000 on them and pocket $30,000, pocket $20,000, and all y'all did was when they got the contract, and then y'all put them to work, threw a few dollars in their pocket. Now y'all done made $30,000 off of them, and y'all doing this to the Muslim kids, B. And now you don't want their deen. Now you don't even want their deen to elevate. And then on top of that, you're getting paid to sit up there and be around them. Heartsick. Don't understand Aqeedah. But look, number 4, the Prophet Muhammad learned what to believe from Allah the Most High. Meaning that the foundations for Islamic Aqeedah or revelations from Allah, which is revelation from Allah. I love the way he put Quran and Sunnah in there. Under revelations from Allah. Should a Muslim take his Aqeedah from anything other than these two sources? Explain. Some people might just put answers like no. I'm telling y'all. Well, yeah, you know, you shouldn't. But it says explain. Because when you're able to explain accurately, then you're able to teach. Then you're able to implement. You understand? This ain't about just trying to be able to answer a question. It's absorbing it. It's getting it in your heart. The brother said, a Muslim should only take his Aqeedah from the Quran and Sunnah with the understanding of the companions, with the understanding from the companions and those who follow them in righteousness. Huh? And those who follow them in righteousness. It's allowed. You see that? It's allowed. It's permissible to take Aqeedah from what the Salaf agreed upon. That was hard. That was hard. Could you see the way the brother said it's allowed? It's permissible. That brother Salafi, man, the right way. Okay? Look what he said. It's allowed to take Aqeedah from what the Salaf agreed upon. Then in parentheses, he put ijma. But Salaf is a broad term that should be understood in its proper context. My bad for clapping. But subhanAllah, listen to how the brother breaking it down, man. Some of it almost be like, man, somebody be listening to Sunnah. Not only Sunnah, because this is something that I emphasize. That brother is breaking it down. The brother study. He listening to some good people. He's absorbing it. And he's not just spewing jargon. He know what he talking about. Look what else he said. Look what else he said. The Salaf is a broad term that should be understood in its proper context because you had deviant groups from the Salaf. Do you know how many Salafis from the Salafis that hate everybody that I done sat down and tried to get to understand that? Look, wallahi, because it was Salafi sister. I'm Salafi. Okay? We was talking about getting married. You know, some people had introduced us. Wallahi. Attended a masjid with one of the prominent Salafis from that side who actually is a graduate that's there. And, you know, wallahi, it done been some situations that was going on in marriages and different things, man, and that brother said something, wallahi, because the dude was in love with him. Whatever he says, this and that. And then the sister would have to call me. So while he's there, prominent man from that side, he's there, they call me on the phone, I'm on the speakerphone. And when dude ain't right, nope, that ain't right. I don't care what your name is. You can't do that. You can't tell them this. You can't put them in these situations. Wallahi, I done had to step in and get situations together that he messed up. No knock to him. That's why I'm not saying his name. But because she attended that masjid and been attending that masjid for like 18 years, she feel like that means she got the haq. And we having a conversation about the Salaf, and I'm talking to her about the people from the Salaf that said the Quran was created. And the Salaf, ain't nobody from the Salaf ever said that. What did Imam Ahmed get beat for? No. So then she's sending the other Imam and other people from the group. They talking about, from the masjid, that brother don't understand Salafiyah. He talking like a jahil. But these the prominent people that run this masjid. And we talking about Salafis, the Salafis that hate everybody. Every masjid in the whole entire city is a masjid of bid'ah except for their masjid. And I got to get them together. Wallahi, this is a true story. Man, he sound like a jahil. Nobody from the Salaf ever said anything like that. Because y'all don't understand what the Salaf is. You don't understand what the Salaf is. I don't care what your name is. I don't care what conferences you done spoke at. But I ain't going to get into that. But this brother, the way he broke that down, I'm talking about, I know Salafis who, like this person, they have been an attendant of this masjid for 18 years. Sister. You know what I'm saying? And while we talking, their Wakil is present. But you know how some of them play the game. Her Wali, which happened to be her son. You know, he was older. He was grown. He was an adult. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't gonna go into that. But not only them, but like I said, the Imam and some of these people, that brother sound jahil. Nah, you sound jahil. This brother just broke it down, answering this from a basic Aqeedah course. This is basic Aqeedah, but look what else he said, right? They had deviant groups from the Salaf. So the term is restricted to those who followed the companions in their understanding of Aqeedah. Of Aqeedah. This brother understand that, man. A lot of Salafis don't get it. They don't. Now, sometimes where I give a little pushback to the brothers and say, one, alhamdulillah. So what books do you turn to see exactly how the Salaf understood it? Because I'm going to give y'all a jewel. Let me give y'all a little jewel. Let me bust out the whiteboard. Let me give y'all a little jewel. And matter of fact, I'm going to give y'all a couple of bonus jewels, and then I'm going to wrap this up. We're going to put Kufar. Let me stand up, man. Let me stand up. Let me show y'all something. Because this is, like I said, I'm about implementation. I want to get that implementation in everybody. So you had a Kufar. Jews, Christians. And we're going to use Allah regardless to what they say. Do they look? Let's look at the Kufar. Do they believe in Allah? Yes. Do they believe in prophets? We're not talking about even where they reject some, but do they believe that Allah has prophets and messengers? Yes. Do they believe in angels? Although they may draw pictures and act like they butt naked babies and this and that, but do they believe in angels? Yes. Do they believe in revelation? Which a lot of it is translated to books. But we're going to put revelation. Because even with the Quran, was an actual book sent down and put in their hand? That's why it says they went and changed it. These people who went and changed it, they wasn't prophets and messengers. It wasn't revealed to them. But do they believe in revelations? Yes. Do they believe in, instead of putting the Carter, we're going to put Allah's will. Yes. They just be like, well, you know, it's God's will. If it's God's will, God willed it. This the Kufar. Do they believe in the day of judgment? Yes. So I'm mentioning this because a lot of people who don't really truly understand, they think because they can name these things, they have Aqeedah. But guess what? These 6 things, the Kufar also believe in it. Do they have Aqeedah? No. When it comes to the deviant sects, see, this is a tricky part. Except for like the Qadariya. Those deviant sects, they believe in Allah, they believe in prophets, they believe in angels, they believe in revelation, they believe in the day of judgment. But see, some of them believe that there is no Qadar. So the problem is, it's the correct beliefs about all of these things. So when it's saying follow the Salaf with the understanding that they had in this, is it just restricted to this? No, because it's the entire deen. See, a lot of people, because like I said, some people have a sales pitch of we have the correct Aqeedah because we can name these 6 things. And this is the Salaf. They all agree that these 6 things. So we're the best thing. You can't listen to nobody but us. But these same people that turn around and tell you nobody from the Salaf ever said that the Quran was created. You understand? Not saying all of them. Not saying all of them. And the situation I'm discussing was in 2024. This wasn't years ago. This was in 2024. Now, so I want to give y'all these jewels. The Kuffar believe in these same things, but they got some shirk because they associate partners with Allah. They got some rejection because the Jews don't accept Isa as a prophet. Some of the people that the Jews accept as a prophet, the Christians don't accept them, and neither one of them accept Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So they have some rejections, they have some deviation in the beliefs of the angels, because they believe in Cupid, a little angel with bow and arrows that shoot it and make people love each other and all this weird stuff they come up with. So, not to get too in depth in it. So, what I want people to understand, because I'm about implementation, I'm going to also show there's way more than these 6. Way more than these 6. But when I gave in the class, so even with these questions, implementing Aqeedah in your everyday life. So when you ask the average Muslim, especially the Salafi, no matter which side of the fence they on, how did you implement Aqeedah today? We're not talking about your belief. I believe in these things. I had a correct belief in these things. How did you implement your belief in the angels today? Like an example that I can give, me, with my Aqeedah, and wallahi, I'm going to give real examples. I made sure, one, that I had some good smelling stuff burning in my masjid and throughout the rest of my home, and created an environment that the angels can be in so that they could do their job comfortably while they around me. Right? I did certain things and certain interactions with, wallahi, more than one Muslim today. Even with looking at the brother homework, right? Interacting with some other Muslims that's dealing with some hardship and got some things going on, and helping them and speaking with them in a manner where the angels is writing this down for me. Creating an environment that they can be in so that they could do their job. And then coming and doing a video like I told the brother, because he inspired me. I wasn't going to do no talk today. I was going to do something possibly tomorrow. Because D's no wanted to, because there's some conferences and stuff going on this weekend. Right? There's been some conferences going on the last several weeks. Just depending on who you listen to, who you allowed to listen to. But there's been some nice conferences going on, right? So, anyway, but when I read that brother answers, I said, man, I got to share this brother answers. And then for like some of the new shahadas who doing this, but they on lesson 6, I wanted to extract some of them same jewels from lesson 1 and then lesson 2, because we knew some people that was in their city, so we knew some people who actually know them. So because of that, deeds let them in the Zoom thing. So we got our hand on them to where there's other people who's also checking their work. It don't necessarily have to be me. And we making sure that they getting together. You see what I'm saying? So doing these things, the angels come down, they lower their wings. So I'm doing things from the correct Aqeedah and implementation so the angels that they could be around. Certain things from what's the implementation of Tawheed, not just the belief. What's the implementation of Tawheed that I did today? So I always get up very early in the morning to go to the grocery stores, right? One, I implemented my Tawheed in the proper du'as. So what I'm going to put on, although I'm saying du'a, in remembering Allah more than just saying dhikr, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. See, when I leave my home and make the du'as, then I say to Allah, like I know I'm finna go to the store, Allah, guide me to the store. You see what I'm saying? Guide me to the store and through the store, and make sure I buy the proper things to nourish my body. Put it in me what I should be getting. So it's a dua, but I'm remembering Allah. Then I'm making sure I make the dua for going in the marketplace. And the whole time I'm driving, I'm doing the dhikr on my tongue as well, because I'm asking Allah for the guidance. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Astaghfirullah, 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 Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, the whole time I'm driving. Because I'm asking Allah for that guidance. I'm remembering Allah. And then when I'm seeing certain things where I might get ready to make a bad decision, you know what I'm saying? Which I'm just going to keep it 100. Because it be early and this and that. Prime example, I'll put it out there. Females coming through in pajamas. You know what I'm saying? Pajamas and this and that. And when you in softer pajamas, you know, they was a little furry, but they may be a little more shapely or jiggly in these type of clothes than they would other clothes. You know what I'm saying? Of course I look like a Muslim and this and that, and it's a lot of people out here single, and it's in their nature to attract you. But I'm going to remember Allah. And then I'm going to seek refuge with Allah. A'udhu billah minash shaitanir rajim. And then I'm going to remember, lower your gaze, I stick to the mission. Ask Allah for guidance through this door. And then that guidance came, that also stand mindful that that guidance is there to remember to seek refuge with Allah from the rejected shaitan, because this is from the shaitan. These is ways that you implement Aqeedah. Not just believing that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a prophet, but implementing things from his sunnah and how he taught. Just like seeking refuge, because like the Rasul say, there's a hadith with the Rasul is human. He went through this, like the Rasul said. If you see a woman in public and they grasp your attention, go home and be with your wife. Go home and be with your wife and get that on up out of you. Because it might linger. Because now you done seen one girl turn into two girls, turn into three girls. Then it might go on all week. Then for the brothers who don't have no wife, get to fasting. Get to seeking refuge with Allah. This is more than just, this is how you implement Aqeedah in your everyday life. And you got to be mindful of it. Because to get those deeds accepted, you got to have the sincerity and you got to have the correct intentions. If you're not mindful of it, then what's your sincerity? So one thing you want to start doing is saying, and also with the revelation I could put in, this is from the Quran that has some of these things, the remembrance of Allah. Lower your gaze. Do this, do that. Ask for the guidance. This is implementing Aqeedah. Implementing Aqeedah is not just basically saying, I believe in Allah, the prophets, the angels, the revelations, or we'll just put, because most people used to hearing books. Belief in Allah, belief in the prophets, belief in the angels, belief in the books, belief in the Carter, and belief in the last day. That ain't Aqeedah. Those are just pillars of Aqeedah. You see what I'm saying? So once you start to look at that, every day say, how can I implement something from the Tawheed aspect? Not just saying I believe in Tawheed. How are you implementing it? How are you implementing that Tawheed? How are you implementing the belief in the prophets? And it was a beautiful thing with the sister class. When we started talking about the prophets, one of the sisters mentioned one of the prophets. So I'm like, what do you know about that prophet? What do you know from that life, from his life? They mentioned some things and they talked about how he had patience in certain things that he had. And I said, okay, now you can look at that, the belief in that prophet, and look at his life and what he went through, implement that same type of patience. This is implementing Aqeedah, not just knowing how to say these things. So this is something that y'all need to challenge yourself. What did I do from Aqeedah that involves the angels today? What did I do from Aqeedah that involves the Wahi, Quran al-Kareem? What did I do that involves the Qadr of Allah? Basically, when a situation come around, Qadr of Allah, Mashafa'al. Let me accept this Carter. Let me not get upset. Let me not get this way. Even if it's something from good, I know to pray. Man, alhamdulillah. Allahu Akbar. Even when I go and get my groceries and then I go to the gas pump and able to fill my gas up with gas, alhamdulillah, al-razaq li rizq. All praise is due to Allah, the provider, for this provision. That's remembering Allah. Just even forgetting gas. All these provisions that you provided for me today, even the ones that I'm not even thinking about, like breathing fresh air. Breathing air. Being able to see. Being able to walk around the grocery store. Being able to use hands and grab things. These is provisions. All praise is due to Allah, the provider, for all of these provisions. See, that's remembering Allah. After I get my gas, even for guiding me to the store and guiding me back home. You see what I'm saying? That way, when you ask for things like guidance to the store, guidance home, guide me to this place, guide me that place. See, within that dua, you're also asking for safety. I might take my own route, might do something, don't even think about it, and may Allah protect me from it and protect us all from it. Could have got in a car wreck. You see what I'm saying? Could have ran over a dog. Somebody's dog could have ran out in the street. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's dog could have ran out in the street. I could have hit the dog by accident. They might want to run out the house and put belt on me. Come out with the pole. You killed my dog. Which is some stuff I done seen. Somebody's dog ran out in the street, man. A lady ran over the dog with a motorcycle. A chick on a motorcycle, wallahi. And she just started yelling, who dog is this? Instead of keep going, turned back around and came back. People running up out the house wanting to put belt on her. Little kids crying, screaming because the dog was shaking real bad like this, and then it died. She was crying. Done stopped her motorcycle. She got people running up on her with them. You killed my dog. See, when you ask Allah to guide you to places, and Allah allow me to make it there safely. See, with that guidance, you asking for protection from these type of things. This is remembering Allah, man. That's how you implement Aqeedah. That's how you implement Aqeedah as opposed to just talking about it. I'm going to give y'all one jewel, so I want to speak on one last hadith too. Because it's more than the understanding that they had about Aqeedah as far as what people believe in. This all Aqeedah is. So, you have what's referred to as the people of Ra'i. Some people put that as the people of opinion. Because the way they break these sciences down. So like some schools of fiqh, a lot of it was based off of opinion. Some people feel. Let me be careful with my words because you know everybody don't know these type of things, so they don't know how to take it. So some things be based off of opinion, but it isn't their personal opinion. It's their opinion based off of certain things that they understand from the deen. So they may have looked at certain issues and formed an opinion. That's different because that don't mean it's their personal opinion. So then, of course, you got the people of Hadith. So real famous Hadith, beautiful Hadith that people should look into and study. You have a situation when the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and his companions, may Allah have mercy on them all, there was a war going on. So the Rasul instructed them, when y'all get to the next when y'all get to the next city, then make your salat. Don't stop because you might get attacked while you're praying. Just different reasons. They was at war. So y'all don't make salat until you get to the next city. So while they was traveling, one of the people started to say, if we don't stop and pray, we're going to miss the prayer. Then one of the other people said, well, we're going to be disobeying the Rasul. The Rasul said, don't pray until we get to the next city. So they traveled a little more, and then them brothers was like, now he done got some footing. Now it's a group up. Like, no, I agree with the brother, man. We need to go ahead and pray or we're going to miss it. But now this other one, now this group, so now they're split. Right? No, we need to pray when we get to the other city like the Rasul said. Allah and his messenger knows best because this is a time why they got the Rasul. Allah and his messenger knows best. We got to listen to the Rasul. So they break these group up. The ones who listen to the Rasul strictly, Ahlul Hadith. They're the people of the Hadith. The ones who started the form of opinion, but it's within the confines of the deen. Yo, if we don't pray, we're going to miss it. But we know you have a valid excuse. You can make that prayer up when you get to the other city because we following the instructions of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So the Rasul basically, so the group who felt like we need to pray or we're going to miss it, they prayed while the other brothers watched their back. Then when they got to the next city, the group who's going to follow the Rasul, then they prayed. Right? Then they prayed. So when the Rasul ended up making to the city, they told the Rasul what happened. Right? They told the Rasul what happened. The Rasul didn't admonish neither group. So, because they both did what Islam told them to do. It wasn't from their own opinion. They did ijtihad and they weighed the situations out. right? So he didn't get on either group. He approved of the actions of both of them. Because when you have a valid excuse, and the valid excuse, the Rasul telling you don't pray till you get to the next city, you can making that prayer up. Plus your sincerity, your intentions is to get that prayer, so you still getting the reward of making it on time. But then the same for the brothers. We in a situation, we assessing it. Because like they say, the Rasul, well, I ain't going to get into that, because the way some people, like I say, some people who don't know, they don't know how to take certain statements. It's a possibility they didn't know how much time it was going to take them. It was a possibility that they was told to wait because they could have had enough time to make it there without the prayer going out. You see what I'm saying? So the people who was in it was able to weigh the situation out and say, we ain't got enough time. Because they didn't have like Adhan clocks and all that like what we have. They looking at the sky. You understand? They looking at the sky, which a lot of us don't know how to do right now. They look at the sky and know, you know what, Fajr finna come in, Dhuhr finna come in, Asr coming in, Maghrib coming in, Isha. They looked at the sky, baby. So they was looking at the sky like, yo, we're gonna miss this prayer. They didn't want to miss the prayer. They looked around. We don't see the enemy. We don't look like we're going to be attacked. Y'all done made the decision that y'all going to wait. Hold us down while we pray. So my point is, sometimes when situations like that happened and the Rasul wasn't around, this is what Ijma came in. If 10 people, based off the Dalil, not this situation, but this is what Ijma is. You got 10 companions. 7 of them made this decision and agreed this is the best decision that should be made. But it wasn't like a situation where both things was permissible. Then some of them said, well, this is our opinion and we feel off like this, but their decision, you can't find nothing in the Quran and Sunnah about it. But it looks good. It looks permissible. You have to go with the decision. If you don't know how to look at the Dalil, you got to go with the decision that the 7 made. That's what Ijma means. They had the consensus. But when you have enough evidence and you're able to look at the Dalil, right? Then generally when you are able to look at the Dalil and what the Dalil is that they looked at, then you're able to say, okay, I understand why this 7 made the decision. I understand why these 3 made the decision, but they decision they made, that was a mistake. Because like I said, and you can start to learn these things when you do study fiqh and when you do study tafsirs, because you will see it where certain people from the Salaf said, I feel like this. Then another group of the Salaf said, I feel like this. And then they come in and say, the scholarly view, the consensus, the ijma is that this is the most correct opinion. But see, it be in more than just the belief in these 6 things. So it's the understanding that they had, just like when you start to dig into the books of hadiths and see certain things about wudu with the wiping your head. I remember I was looking at some brothers in New York, right? Because some things you read about, I just never seen it. So like in Illinois, it's heavily Tablighi influenced, because this is one of the first places they came to, the Tablighis and the Ahmadiyans. So like when you know about like Noble Drew Ali and the Nation of Islam, the Ahmadiyans was here. Okay, so some of the deen that they got, they was getting it from the Ahmadiyans. The Ahmadiyans and the Tablighis because they all like from India, or they stronghold is like that Indian Pakistani continent. They all share similar beliefs. So the Tablighi Jamaats do their travels. They started coming here and setting up here. So a lot of times, if you go in your masjid, you see people make wudu. A lot of them, you're gonna see them go like this, and then when they wipe back, they're gonna turn their hands around and do their neck like this, and then come back up like this. That's what you're gonna see a lot of them see, or like your best of them who look at some hadiths or study some more. They gonna do like this and then come back up. They're not gonna flip their hands and do the back of their neck like this. Okay, but I'm checking out some cats in New York, and it's another brother. He teaches some new brothers how to make wudu, and when they get to the part of wiping his head, he puts he put a little water on his hands, and he did his head in an angle and started from right here and went to the front like this. And I looked at it and I was like, subhanallah, you definitely wiped your head. But I know where it came from, and I know where a lot of hadiths. But I know certain people around here would have seen that, and he covered his whole head. He just did it like this. So like part of this hand got that back part, and then he did like this, and he just did it that one time where he wiped his head. And like I said, I'm not used to seeing it. I done read hadiths about it, but when I seen it, I was like, alhamdulillah, y'all definitely wiped your head. Yeah, okay, you definitely done wiped your head. You know. So when you know, like from madhabs, you know from hadiths and different things, you see different things. But some of the companions might have differed. So you go with ijma, what they had on that, but you look at the dalil at what they looked at. It's hard to describe in a simple way without using big words in Arabic and being careful, because I know people who listen to me, some madhab, this madhab, some Salafi, some Ashari, this, that, and the third. So I'll be trying to be careful with my explanations. But like I said, I know right now, if some people would have seen them put that water on their head and do like this, brother, that's bid'ah, brother, bid'ah. And but they might be on some bid'ah. We don't do bid'ah, you know what I'm saying? them made up whole different aspects of stuff that they do in the deen with no ijtihad. So ijma is in more. So the understanding of the salaf is broader than just the Aqeedah. But I know that's why, like when we talking about the salaf, that's why I say some of the best of them, they're gonna just leave it at it's just the understanding of Aqeedah. You see what I'm saying? But it's in rulings, it's in all type of stuff. Like in Tafsir Qurtubi, I'm gonna give y'all a prime example, and I spoke about it briefly. In Tafsir al-Qurtubi, you will see where multiple companions had different meanings for, like, your ayats that start off with like Alif Lam Mim, right? Alif Lam Ra. You had companions, like we talking about elite companions. Some of them were saying some stuff mean like I Allah and the best knower. I am Allah is the best seer. They gave meanings to it. And this, when I read Tafsir Qurtubi, it blew my mind, because the first Quran I had, I didn't know it was an Ahmadiyyan Quran. I'm in Illinois, so the first Quran I got was an Ahmadiyyan Quran, and when I was reading it, and it had like Alif Lam Mim, and then it had in parentheses that this means I, Allah, am the best knower. I come to the next, I, Allah, am the best seer. And I remember, because I'm reading it in the Quran and I'm taking it, right? But keep in mind, I'm young. And then I got around some Muslims and I started saying it, and they was like, no, they ain't say because they wasn't saying it back then. But they was like, no, brother, that ain't right. Only Allah know the meaning of this. So because I carry my Quran with me. I bust the Quran out. No, look, it say right here in the Quran. They looking at the Quran like, man, what kind of Quran is this? Where you get this? But because I seen it in the Quran, but I wasn't one of them hard-headed brothers. I mean, you don't know what you're talking about. I seen it in the Quran. I went and started talking to more people and finding out what was going on. And then there was an individual who was like, that's an Ahmadiyyan Quran you got. So they started breaking it down for me. So I kept the Quran, but I stopped saying that. They was like, that's not the Quran. They put that there. That's footnotes. That's their opinion. So I was like, oh, okay. So I got it. Many years later, over 20 years later, when I started reading Tafsir Qartubi, it's showing how elite companions, the meanings that they had, because that came from the opinions of some companions. Yeah, it's in Tafsir Qartubi. And like I said, and then some of them said, no, we under the opinion, it's the name of, those is names of chapters. Those is names of chapters. You understand? But the majority, so these are just individual statements. Some people agree. Yeah, I agree that don't mean that. But it wasn't like the Rasul told them this. Where's the dalil? Why do you think that? Why are you giving meanings to it? It ain't show where they getting it from. This is just what they felt like it meant. As far as there's no dalil for why they think it. It might be some more books out there that I'm not privy to or I haven't read, because I'm just seeing it in Tafsir Qartubi, but it was blowing my mind because I was like, that's where they even got it from to put it in the Ahmadiyyan Qurans. Some of the companions, elite companions, gave meanings to some of it, but the majority of them, there was ijma. No, the Rasul didn't give no meanings to it. The Rasul said only Allah knows the meanings of it. The Quran teaches only Allah knows the meaning of it. So the majority of them, not just these couple of individual statements and people who gave some meanings to it or some opinion of it, you got to go with the ijma of that. You see what I'm saying? So it's more than just in the belief system. So let me close on this. And I'm going to show the book. I showed the sisters this too. This is the branches of Iman. Now this is a hadith. Although Bayhaqi, who compiled this book, Bayhaqi was Ash'ari. Imam Nawawi was Ash'ari. But all Ash'aris wasn't the same. Okay? Some of this stuff that they done came up with and some of these new twisted things and stuff they putting in, some of that is new. Some of the Ash'aris of old didn't share some of the same beliefs and teachings that some of these Ash'aris have in 2024. Okay? But it's like that with everything. Some of these people who call themselves Sunni Muslims, Shia Muslims, Salafi, they have some beliefs that some of the people like a Ibn Taymiyyah and them that they didn't have. So, well-known hadith, because I want to show y'all, when people talk about Aqeedah and these 6 pillars, the best of them will refer to them as the pillars of Iman. And some people feel like Iman is what you're supposed to believe, right? So, Aqeedah is a belief system that should be tied to your heart. Okay? When it's tied to your heart, the actions of the heart, what's in the heart, is going to be reflected upon the tongue and the limbs. That's why when the heart is corrupt, your actions and your speech going to be corrupt as well. You just might not know it. So, Aqeedah, the correct Aqeedah, is a belief system that should be tied to your heart, in brief. So when there's a hadith that speak on how many branches of Iman that there is, right? in belief. That's why I said, even when you go in your Quran, there's other things that's listed that's not on here. But then you have, like for instance, you got to believe in the unseen. The jinns is part of the unseen. Some people don't have that in their list, but we know we have to believe in it. Okay? The jinns is the unseen. Jannah is unseen. Right? Jahannam is unseen. But we have to believe in it. It's from the correct Aqeedah to believe in the jinns. Like I said, when I had to read the tafsir about the jinns, because some people believe the jinns ain't real, and that went to some people saying that chapter about the jinn means the Jews, and then due to other groups referring to themselves as Muslim groups, saying that the jinns is the Jews and European Americans. You know, the ones that they consider to be the devils. But there's real jinns, okay? But this from Bayhaqi. So, although he was Ash'ari, you could see his Aqeedah when in his list. So I want to show y'all what he got as number 1. Tawheed. Iman in Allah. The correct belief in Allah, right? Allah Ta'ala says, and the believers all have Iman in Allah, and all you who believe have Iman in Allah. Right? And they showing the second part, oh you believe have Iman in Allah, Surah An-Nisa, ayat 136. And the believers all have Iman in Allah. And then the beauty of it is, the Arabic is also in the book. Right? So, from Surah 285 in Baqarah, and the believers all have Iman in Allah. Right? Also in a hadith narrated by Abu Hurairah, as agreed upon in the Sahihains, which means it's in Bukhari and Muslim, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I have been commanded to fight until people say La ilaha illallah. When they do so, their lives and property becomes inviolable to me, except in matters of justice. Except when if they do something and I got to put that belt on them, then I got to put that belt on them, is basically what he's saying. Their lives and properties, they good, except in matters of justice. If I got to put that belt on them, put that belt on them. And it is Allah who shall call them to account. In Sahih Muslim, it is related in another hadith narrated by Uthman bin Affan, whoever, may Allah be pleased with him, have mercy on him, whoever dies knowing that there is none worthy of worship except Allah shall enter Jannah. So this is Tawheed. So, although he's Ash'ari, he believes in Allah. The next pillar, belief in the messengers, the prophets. Right? Next pillar, belief in the angels. Right? The next pillar, belief in the Quran and all of the revelations, the books. Right? Number 5, belief in the Qadr, both the good and the bad of the Qadr is from Allah Azza wa Jal. Right? Number 6, belief in the last day. So like I said, some people only know about these 6. So then he expand on it. Number 7, belief in the resurrection after death. Some people tie all that into the day of judgment, the last day, the day of resurrection, the day of standing, and the day of judgment. So some people put them together, right? So he got that at 7. Number 8, Iman in the gathering of mankind to the standing. So like I said, that's the other one. The standing, the judgment, and the resurrection. Some people tie it all into one thing, one group. But when you come to number 9, Iman that the abode and refuge of the believers is Jannah and the unbelievers is the hellfire. This is also Aqeedah. Number 10, Iman that it is an obligation to love Allah Azza wa Jal and what this deen comes with. Right? 11. Iman, that one must fear Allah Ta'ala. Now what it does is, because of the hadith that says, some of them says there's 60 odd branches, some say 70 odd branches. So what he did was, not only him, right? I had to get this one for a class. This actual Aqeedah class that I'm showing y'all, the original one came with this book. But going through the class, I just went ahead and ordered it with the Arabic in it also, as I'll show y'all again. So I went ahead and got it with the Arabic and the translation because I really wanted to dig into it. I always avoided the book because he was Ash'ari. I'm going to keep it 100. So, but I'm familiar with the hadith. He goes through all the hadiths and the Quran ayats and extract all of these different things that go in Iman. Let me close on some of the heavy ones, right? Like branch number 43, the abandoning of rancor, envy, and similar feelings. And you can see where it might be a little blurry, to where I got it highlighted, and cause keep in mind, like I said, I went through it for the class, and I wanted to use this real book. So Allah Ta'ala says, and from the evil of the envier when they envy, and or do they envy people for what Allah has given them of His bounty. It is narrated in Sahih Bukhari by Anas, may Allah have mercy on him, and the Prophet said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, do not hate one another, or envy one another, or turn your backs on one another. Rather, be Allah's slave while being each other's brothers. It is not halal for a Muslim to break off relations with his brother for more than 3 consecutive nights so that they both turn away from each other. The better of them is he who gives the first greetings. Right? Al-Hasan al-Basri said in regards to Allah's statements, from the evil of the envier when he envies, this was the first sin to have been committed in the heavens. Ahmed ibn Qayyas said, mark these 5 truths: an envious man finds no peace, a liar has no manly virtue, greedy man is not to be trusted, as a miser has no power, and a man of bad character has no glory. Khalil ibn Ahmed said, a man who does wrong through envy is very similar to one who is wronged. He has no peace of mind, and he is always grieved. Right? Al-Mubarak recited the following lines: the eye of the envier always sees scandal, bringing out false and hiding the good. He meets you cheerfully with a smiling face, while his heart conceals his true feelings. The envier's enmity comes without provocation, yet he accepts no excuse why he attacks. So this is from the correct Aqeedah. To be this way, to abandon rancor, envy, and similar things, right? So when it says from the hadith in Sahih Bukhari, do not hate one another. Why am I going to hate another Muslim like how I speak on deeds? Because he don't say I'm Salafi. That's not a valid reason to not hate another Muslim. Or you go to another masjid. That's not a valid reason to hate another Muslim. So in reality, or to abandon them, right? Not hate them, not envy them, or not turn your backs to them. This is still another Muslim. They Aqeedah good, they Sunnah good. If they own some bid'ah, they can be corrected. You don't want to leave them on the bid'ah. So some of these reasons for certain things that go on amongst the Muslim Ummah it's not a valid reason for it. Man, what's up with them? Oh, they ain't Salafi. What? No, we don't fool with them. They not Salafi. Well, what they do? But this person who selling dope, this person who unnecessarily beating women, Salafi, you cool with. You don't say nothing to them. This person who beat women, he sell drugs, he sells intoxicants, he get drunk himself, he fornicates, but he Ashery. Alright, man, that's one of the Ashery brothers, but we don't fool with them over there because they is Salafi. These not valid reasons to hate one another, because people technically haven't left the fold of Islam. This is not the way of the Salaf as-Salih. It's a hadith saying don't do that. You see what I'm saying? That's why I said in video, there's two types of Salafi masjid. There's some Salafi masjid, you coming in praying, we don't care if you call yourself Salafi or not. As long as you coming up in here and you own that Quran and that Sunnah, and you not in here on no foolishness, trying to start no this and that, you Muslim. You welcome. You can get the rope in your hand. But see, a lot of people don't know this is correct Aqeedah because they only know these 6 branches. From the hadith, even in this book right here, just to give y'all a little bit of a jewel, because like I said, the hadith says 70 odd. This book has 77 branches from Aqeedah. Gotta know your deen, baby. So like when you understand that, you know you have a stronger understanding of what ijma is, and believing and having an understanding that they had in Aqeedah. Because see, when you understand all this, and this is from authentic hadiths, this is from Quran ayats, with the correct understanding, because you can look at the tafsirs on them. You can look at the hadiths, you can look at the explanation of the hadiths. This is also Aqeedah. So it's like I said, some people who refer to themselves as certain things, they violate in many branches of Aqeedah. In many branches of Aqeedah. And they limit people understanding to these 6 things right here. Why is this though? Because some of them don't really study for real. They might, they might have a little Arabic. They might have a lot of terminology. But see, when you understand these things, abandoning rancor, turning your back on brothers and all this stuff over labels, size of town, this masjid, that's masjid, that's not the way of the Salaf as-Salih, man. There's no ijma on that. The majority of them did that to people, bro. Now, they may not looked at them as knowledgeable enough to take knowledge from them, but that's still my Muslim brother. I'm not finna sit up with you and listen to you with this foolishness. Lie. But you still my Muslim brother. Salam alaikum wa alaikum salam. I'm gonna give you your rights. And if you speak on some foolishness or do some foolishness in front of me, I'm gonna try to put you on a straight path. Now, if you reject that and say this and that and start to say some things that take you out of the fold of Islam and you won't change, now we're going to enter into a different realm of reality. But this done got too long, man. I didn't intend that. Maghrib about to come in, man. So, assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, man. Hopefully, inshallah ta'ala, some people benefit from it. To the brother, man, keep on doing what you're doing, Ak. You know what I'm saying, man? Allah make it easy for you. And you're doing your thing, brother. I like how you understand, man. I can see you listening to some good people. I can see you done read some good things outside of just that. I can see it, man. You know, you're a good brother, man. I see your zeal. You know, alhamdulillah, man, and that humility, man, just like, cause you don't know me, and to submit your answers and things to me and open yourself up for scrutiny, it take a lot. And a lot of people don't have that courage. And you jump right on it immediately, within days. And I'm telling you, like, all jokes aside, I done seen people, man, I'm telling you, man, I've been waiting on them for months. For months. Nothing. Numerous people. But so you know, like I said, man, may Allah Azza wa Jal allow you to remain steadfast on your studies. You know, keep doing what you're doing. You know, I like that in you, man. We need more Muslims to be like that, man, and be that example, man. If there's other Muslims around you, and the way you did that lesson 1 and the way you answered those questions, get out to some other brothers, man, to some other sisters, man. You know, anybody you around that'll listen to you, let them have it. You know what I'm saying? Pay zakat on that knowledge, man, because you got it. You got it, man. Pay you some zakat on that, man, and share it with some other people, man. Bi-idhni Allah Ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Any mistakes I made came from myself and the shaitan. Anything I said that was correct came from Allah Azza wa Jalla.